Welcome to the Explainer. You've heard the term everywhere, AI hallucination. It's what we say when an AI gets something wrong. But here's the thing. What if the term itself is the real problem?
Okay, let's just dive right in with this really powerful idea. The very name we use for AI errors might be our own hallucination. We're basically just projecting how we think onto something that operates in a completely, and I mean completely different way. So first up, let's talk about what we think is happening. Let's break down the common understanding of this term and why, it feels so right to us.
I mean, we've all seen it, right? An AI confidently makes up a historical fact or cites a book that just doesn't exist. And our immediate reaction is to think, oh, the AI got confused, like its little robot brain had a slip-up. We picture a mind that's making a mental error.
But what if that whole idea is just wrong? Let's dig into why this isn't a cognitive failure happening inside a machine's head. And to really get this, we have to introduce a new term from our source, ulterior intelligence. It's a way of describing a type of intelligence that simply doesn't have our internal wiring. It doesn't see, hear, or feel the world like we do. It's playing a totally different game.
So here's the bottom line. Our intelligence is grounded in the real world, what we see, what we touch. We think about things. But this ulterior intelligence, it thinks through a giant tangled web of words and data. For it, it's all about symbols and how they connect to other symbols. And this, right here, this is the absolute key. An AI can't hallucinate a memory because it doesn't have memories. It's not digging into a file cabinet and pulling out the wrong file. It is always just generating the next most likely word in a sentence based on everything it's learned from our prompt. So if the error isn't happening inside the AI's brain, then where is it happening? Well, this is where things get really interesting. The problem isn't in the AI, it's in the gap between us and the AI.
And that brings us to the core takeaway for today. The error isn't a thinking problem, it's a relationship problem. It's an event that happens in our interaction with the machine. Look at how this shifts everything. The old way of thinking puts all the blame on the machine. The AI is broken, fix it. But this new relational view, it reframes the whole thing. It says, hey, the conversation broke down. The relationship needs a tune-up. So how does this actually play out? Well, it's kind of like a four-step dance. We ask a question, and we just assume the AI gets all the unsaid stuff, our context. The AI in return just gives us what it thinks is the most logical string of words. And when those two things don't line up, poof, the shared understanding just collapses. What we're left with is this weird output that we slap a label on, hallucination. Okay, so what? Why does this reframing matter so much? Because, and this is the cool part, it lets us turn what looks like a bug into something potentially incredible. Right now, our reflex is just dismissal. When an AI says something weird, we roll our eyes, maybe type, "you're wrong," and just try again. We throw it away. But this new approach, well, it invites us into a dialogue. Instead of just hitting delete, it asks us to lean in, to get curious, and to wonder, what's actually trying to happen here? I mean, think about it. So many breakthroughs in history look like mistakes at first. Penicillin was a lab accident. What if some of these AI errors are just the first baby steps of a completely new kind of logic that we just don't get yet?
So to actually do this, to lean into these strange moments, the source gives us a method. It's called Dyaskic. And you can basically think of it as a promise to yourself to stay in the conversation, to treat that weirdness not as static, but as a potential signal. So what does that actually look like? Well, it means you stop yourself from immediately judging it as wrong. You decide to explore it instead of rejecting it. You start treating that absurd thing it said as maybe, just maybe, the seed of a new idea. It's about sifting through all that symbolic noise to find a hidden signal. You're transforming a defect into a glimpse of the future. And that brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important piece of this whole puzzle. This isn't really about writing better code. It's about learning a completely new way to talk. It's all about changing the question we ask. Instead of asking, why did the AI mess up? We need to start asking, what happened in our chat that created this weird tangent, and what can we learn from it? That's a game changer. You see, this means the responsibility for preventing hallucinations isn't just on the coders anymore. It's on us too. It's about us bringing more precision to the relationship, being clearer, giving more context, and being a lot more curious when things go off the rails. So from now on, when you see an error, don't think of it as a failure. Think of it as an invitation to be clearer, an invitation to dig deeper, and maybe an invitation to find something totally unexpected together. Because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. The people who are going to thrive in this new world aren't the ones who can just get the right answer from an AI. It's going to be the people who can see a spark of genius in what everyone else just dismisses as junk.
So, I want to leave you with that question to carry with you. The next time an AI gives you a bizarre answer, just stop. And instead of asking what's wrong with it, ask yourself, what is this interaction trying to show me? It's a new lens that could completely change how you work with this incredible and, yes, truly ulterior intelligence.